Welcome to the 2021 Paragon Awards ceremony. My name is Christine Dunbeck, and I'm the current president of the Southeastern Wisconsin PRSA chapter. I want to thank you for supporting our chapter and celebrating the terrific PR work being done here in the greater Milwaukee area. While we wish we were seeing you all in person, our chapter members and guests' safety is our top priority. Thank you for joining us virtually as we honor our award winners. The Paragon Awards honor our members' accomplishments in the world of public relations, from media relations and special events to digital communications and integrated campaigns. Each entry confirms the quality of our chapter members and our strong local PR community. I'd like to take a minute to thank our sponsor, Kane Communications Group. The last year has been hard for all organizations, and PRSA is no exception. Our sponsors are critical to our chapter's financial success. We're thankful to Kane Communications Group for their great partnership and commitment to the organization. And I'd like to extend a special thanks to our chapter administrator, Joette Richards, who helped make this event possible. Finally, I'd like to extend our appreciation to the PRSA Pittsburgh chapter, whose members judge the entries in our program. We appreciate their willingness to volunteer their time and efforts to make our program possible. And now, please help me give a warm welcome to our two most recent immediate past presidents, Catherine Foley and Ryan Amundson, who will help me MC this year's event.
Thank you, Christine. Now we're ready to recognize our award winners. Our awards are divided into two categories, programs and tactics. The entries were judged on a 0 to 50 point scale based on objectives, research, and planning, as well as execution and measurement of results. Program entries include all plans and materials from the inception to the completion of the program, while tactical entries are standalone pieces such as press kits, websites, social media tactics, and special events that support a complete program. The awards of distinction received a minimum of 40 out of 50 points, and the awards of excellence received at least 45 out of 50 points.
We will start off with PR program entries. Our first category is public relations programs, media relations, business industry. Claiming an award of excellence is Kramer Krasel for their Saputo brand's Cathedral City Cheddar debut. Our next award of excellence goes to Laughlin Constable for their media relations program with North Shore Bank, Calling All Coins. Our final award winner in the PR media relations programs category goes to Bader Rudder for their Orbis Corporation Trade Media Relations program.
Now we will honor our award recipients for the public relations social media campaigns category. Our first award of distinction goes to Kramer Krasel for their Cat's Pride Twin to Win campaign. Our next award of distinction goes to Nelson Schmidt for their We're All In social media campaign for the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation. And winning 2 awards of distinction in the content marketing business industry category is Nelson Schmidt for their Commit to Win content campaign for commercial laundry and power cable safety content campaign for Pondewitt.
Moving on to our PR programs influencer marketing category. Walking away with 2 awards of distinctions is Kramer Krasel. CK is honored for both its Try It With a Little Goat campaign for Montchevre Saputo brands and its Tiki brand Fire Pit campaign. Winning an award of distinction in the crisis communications government nonprofit category is the Weil Center for Performing Arts for its reopening announcement plan.
Winning 2 awards of distinction in the integrated communications business industry category is Kramer Krasel. Kramer Krasel secured awards for its Come Home to Fresh Air campaign for Bone Newtone and its Tiki brand Fire Pit integrated campaign. Winning an award of excellence in the marketing communications products services category is Laughlin Constable for their Nordic Noel Delivers Holiday Hygiene campaign with O&H Danish Bakery.
Winning an award of excellence in the multicultural public relations category is Kane Communications Group for its COVID-19 communications with the Milwaukee County Office of Emergency Management. Moving on to awards in the public relations tactics category. Our first winner for events and observances more than 7 days goes to the Wisconsin Dental Association, winning an award of excellence for WDA's 150th anniversary. And Laughlin Constable wins an award of distinction for their US Cellular Nostalgic Family Fun Amid Summer Pandemic event.
Our next category is social media. Winning an award of distinction is Nelson Schmidt for their We're All In Small Business Saturday campaign with the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation. Winning an award of excellence in our online communications category is the Wisconsin Dental Association for their coronavirus email alerts. We had 2 award of excellence winners for our video category. Our first winner is the Wisconsin Dental Association for its public awareness videos. And our second category winner goes to Beta Rudder and Corteva Agroscience for its Enlist Weed Control System Virtual Tech Center Tour.
On to the final few categories. First, winning an award of distinction in the creative tactics category is Lepoidovan Marketing for their Solo Summer Thanks Box. And winning an award of excellence in the miscellaneous category is Kramer Krasel for its Come Home to Fresh Air campaign rebranding with Bro New Tone. Now it's time for the biggest award of the afternoon, Best of Show. This honor goes to the PR program entry that secured the most points from our judging partners. This year, there was a tie for Best in Show. Our first Best of Show goes to Laughlin Constable for their Crisis Prevention Institute De-Escalation Amid the Pandemic campaign.
Now I'd like to introduce and congratulate one of our Best of Show award winners, Laughlin Constable. We have Brian Knox, Executive Vice President of Public Relations, and Alicia Wilson, PR Senior Account Executive at Laughlin Constable with us today to share details about their Best of Show De-Escalation Amid the Pandemic campaign. Brian and Alicia, congratulations, and thank you both for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks for the opportunity and for the recognition for the award on behalf of Laughlin Constable's work with Crisis Prevention Institute. For those of you who may not know, CPI, as we like to refer to them, and they do too, is a worldwide de-escalation trainer. In fact, they're the leader in that space. They've trained more than 15 million professionals over the past 40 years. And traditionally, what we've done with them is help them with messaging and communicating to their key verticals. So healthcare, education, human services, and then came 2020 and the pandemic, which pretty much set the whole world on its ear with regards to how it responds to different things. But CPI was in the right place at the right time with regards to many of the things that they offer. And amid the anxiety and the tensions and even the civil and political unrest that kind of occurred over time, they really were in a position to have their thought leadership spotlighted, if you will, and their knowledge base. So we worked with them to develop a plan that would reach out to key trade and Gen Pop media. And Alicia can tell a little bit more about that.
Yeah, definitely. So as Brian had mentioned, really the need for de-escalation training was everywhere, beyond just the usual healthcare, human services, and education verticals that CPI worked within. You know, we had parents that were being employees, teachers, and caregivers. We had grocery store fights that were erupting over limited supply. And so really at the start of the pandemic in April 2020, we wanted to get the word out far and wide. So we were targeting national media, local media, those human services, healthcare, and education verticals. But then also we opened it up to parenting trade publications, grocery store trade publications. And so those were our proactive pitching. We also had a reactive angle to it. So we were monitoring for our target cities, different stay-at-home orders, different public disruptions that were occurring, you know, different fights that were outbreaking. And So that is really when we saw retail sort of start to come to the forefront for an opportunity for this campaign.
Yeah, the mask mandate issue really kind of exploded. Lots of store owners and employees having to deal with those confrontations. And so the media that was generated initially started to spark some of that attention. And we worked with CPI to help develop a partnership with the National Retailer Federation. And CPI became a trainer for thousands of people around the country that were store owners or employees and how to deal with these situations that they typically wouldn't deal with. We took that, we made an exclusive pitch to the New York Times. They ended up putting it on the front page of their business section, which was great for our client and for us overall. And then from there, we came behind with the general media outreach as well too. And then to show you how quickly our client could pivot, there were other things happening out there. And among those in the political space, the presidential election was about to occur. People were already getting very leery about lining up in poll lines in person. You know, the mask issue was going on. There was the political confrontation, perhaps in a line, social distancing. How do we deal with that? So CPI offered some free de-escalation tips that were out there as well too. And we went out with that as a hook and an angle that the media grabbed onto as well.
Yeah. So really our three-pronged 8-month approach was extremely successful. We had nearly 500 news stories, 610 million impressions. Some highlights were New York Times, Huffington Post, Fast Company. We even did an interview with Germany's Deutschland radio. So it was extremely successful.
I mean, overall, I guess what we'd have to say is just thank you to everyone involved with the process for Best of Show. We also tip our hat to our colleagues as well in sharing this award. And we would just like to say thank you as well to National PRSA, which awarded us a bronze anvil as well too. So we're just very excited. The bottom line though, as everybody knows, it's great to get awards, but it's even better and first and foremost, to have success for your client. And when the client's pleased, then everything else will come behind. But we have a very happy client.
Absolutely. And congratulations on all of the awards you've received for this campaign. I guess, just as we conclude, are there any key learnings that you take away from this campaign that you'd like event attendees to know and or that you guys will incorporate into other campaigns you will do?
I think really the bottom line that Alicia and I found was that it really helps to have a client that is flexible and able to pivot on a dime, especially with an issue like this, and also one that really listens to what you have to say strategically, as far as like, we may want to go here, we may not want to go here right now. Let's look forward, what's coming up, what are some knowns, and then, when an unknown pops up, we need, a quick response from a spokesperson, not a day later, that kind of thing. And I think all of us in PRSA have been through that at one time or another. And in this case specifically, we really relied upon that and we had great response from our client.
Well, excellent. Thank you guys both for being here. Thank you for sharing those overviews with our event attendees. Congratulations. And we look forward to seeing you sometime soon.
Thank you.
Our second Best of Show goes to the Kramer Krasselt for their Let It Rain X road trip campaign with ITW Global Brands.
Now, I'd like to introduce and congratulate one of our Best of Show award winners, Kramer Krasselt. We have Maureen Fernstrom, Vice President of PR, Social Director, and Kelly Vogt, Senior Vice President and Group Account Director, joining us today to share details about their Best of Show Let It Rain X road trip campaign. Maureen and Kelly, congratulations and thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having us. Yeah, thank you.
First, I'd like to start by having you give our event attendees an overview of your Best of Show campaign.
Yeah, thank you for asking. So we had a unique opportunity with Rain-X. Most people understand Rain-X as wiper blades, but they actually also have a full line of appearance products. And our task was actually to grow awareness of those appearance products, which really coincides with the winter and a spring timing, since a lot of the weather is inclement during that time period. And in order to grow that awareness, people needed to understand what types of products were available. But we were doing this in a time of great uncertainty where people were driving less, from a day-to-day perspective. And so one of our challenges became, how do we help grow that brand awareness and familiarity during a time where people were a little bit uncertain of just the times given COVID-19. But one of the things we did see is that road trips started to emerge as a way to have some pastime and some escape. And so our opportunity was to really leverage this trend, but also tell a unique brand story during that trend.
Yeah, so we partnered with an influencer, Katie Lenendahl. So she created videos, social media posts. She did media interviews for us, and took Rain-X on a road trip across New England. So she is a technology expert. She was also a contributor to the Today Show and the Weather Channel. So for this initiative, it was all about partnering with an established spokesperson to get that in-depth content. So someone who already had media experience and could execute a variety of interviews, someone with great social engagement, and who could deliver the content in this COVID-friendly production environment. So it was all about finding the right person. And Rain-X hadn't done a lot of media relations or influencer work before, so it was also about selling that internally.
Well, that's a great overview. Now, can you elaborate a little bit more about the strategies and tactics that you implemented to achieve those campaign goals?
Yeah, absolutely. So we really wanted to make sure that we were developing a unique narrative for the Rain-X brand. There was some advantageous space in the sense that nobody else was really talking about road trips from our category perspective, so we were able to leverage that. And the fact is that Rain-X has a very unique view of the weather. We don't fear it. We're very welcoming of it. We're very optimistic of it because our products really help you with the safety on the road, as well as just then the overall appearance of your vehicle. So whether that's car wash or repellent for your windshield, everything helps you just be more confident in your car and of the outside of your car. And so we developed that story and that narrative in the series of videos that Maureen mentioned, and it allowed us to highlight various products, but also in various locations as well. So everything felt really timely. And what was nice too is Katie, just as a person, really embodied the spirit of the brand, our positive outlook, and just the fun of road trips. And I think people really needed that positivity at that time period, and a way to really see how the brand can be incorporated into their everyday life.
Yeah, so she created 5 different videos for us at each stop of her road trip. So it was great because she was able to authentically incorporate each product into a different video. So we got to show a real great variety of the products and how they're used in these real life applications as we're seeing her drive, across the East Coast. And we ended that with a satellite media tour, getting in, 20 more media interviews.
Wow, that's really excellent. And I appreciate how you guys use this experience, the collective experience while we were all going through, living through the pandemic, and really capitalize on that opportunity. Lots of elements went into this to make this campaign successful. But if you had to pinpoint one, what do you really feel made this campaign stand out?
I'd say 2 things that I observed. Number one is that the client really got to experience how to integrate their brand story in a very organic way. Again, as Maureen mentioned, they hadn't done a lot of influencer outreach or even media relations before, and to really see their product being captured in a way that could not only fulfill the immediate need of these videos, but then be used in multiple different channels, and even internally, frankly. I think they had a lot of excitement to be able to share the news clips and just the success with their internal audience, as well as their sales teams and their end customers. So I think that was really wonderful, as well as just the other success of really helping us create narrative in a way that we haven't before. So a lot of times you can only fit so many characters on a social media post about your product, and it's not very interesting. But to have Katie really bring that to life and show the how-tos and the applications and the before and after, there was so much rich content that we were able to create and leverage, both short-term and long-term, that I think it really got them excited.
We were able to be really efficient with the budget. I mean, this was a relatively small budget that we had for this initiative, and we were able to get social content with production. You know, she produced all of it, media interviews, influencer partnerships. So when you look at the range of things we were able to accomplish with, like I said, that relatively small budget, I think that's what made it really successful as well.
Well, and you guys are starting to kind of get into our last question here, but as we conclude, what were the campaign learnings that you'll take away and include in future campaigns, or that you want our event attendees to maybe consider as they work with other clients and plan campaigns?
Well, I think one thing that we always think about as marketers and communicators is how do we maintain relevance? And that's not only with our target audience, but relevance to the world that we're living in. And this, I think, was a great opportunity for us to capitalize on a change in consumer behavior. And so I think we have this renewed commitment to constantly be monitoring how people are on the road and what their behaviors are, and really parlay that into connection opportunities. So I think that was a wonderful takeaway for us and for our clients, as well as just learning about how to build a better, more robust library of information and content that we can use across our channels, and be really thinking about things holistically.
Well, Maureen and Kelly, thank you so much for being here. Congratulations again. We appreciate you sharing this overview about this excellent campaign. Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Congratulations to Laughlin Constable, Kramer Krassel, and all of our award winners. Now I'll hand things over to Christine Dunbeck to announce this year's Communicator of the Year and Dorothy Thomas Black Award.
Each year, our chapter honors a business or community leader who has effectively employed public relations principles and practices in the operation or handling of an organization or community issue. This year, we honored Dr. John R. Raymond, Sr., MD, President and CEO of the Medical College of Wisconsin, MCW. We honor and thank Dr. Raymond for his consistent, transparent, and data-driven approach to communicating about COVID-19 and keeping our community informed on the latest information during the pandemic. Now, we'll hear a few words from Dr. Raymond.
I'd like to thank the Public Relations Society of America, Southeastern Wisconsin chapter, and Julie Granger for this recognition, which I accept on behalf of dozens of Medical College of Wisconsin faculty and staff who recognized early in the COVID-19 pandemic that communication from experts plays a critical role in keeping our community informed, engaged, and as safe and healthy as possible throughout the first 18 months of the pandemic. I also would like to recognize the significance and value of the joint efforts between MCW and Milwaukee County, the Metropolitan Milwaukee Association of Commerce, public health officials, and various community leaders and organizations to bring accurate, clear information based on fact, data, and science, especially during the time of the COVID-19 pandemic. Thank you.
And now to our Dorothy Thomas Black Award winner. For those who don't know, Dorothy Thomas Black was the Director of Public Relations at St. Luke's Medical Center, a leader in the Milwaukee community, and she had been president of our PRSA chapter. The award was established in 1983, a year after her death. The Dorothy Thomas Black Award recognizes sustained superior performance in public relations and is considered a Lifetime Achievement Award for a public relations professional in our chapter. This year's Dorothy Thomas Black Award is being awarded to someone who encompasses all of these things, Patrick McSweeney. Patrick has devoted his time serving on various PRSA board of directors for more than 25 years, holding multiple board positions, achieving his APR accreditation, and being named a member of the PRSA College of Fellows in 2015. PRSA thanks him for his years of service and providing invaluable mentorship and guidance to the chapter's younger board members. Now we'll hear a few words from Patrick.
Thank you, Christine and Catherine, Ryan, the board, and the members of PRSA's Southeastern Wisconsin chapter. Being linked to Dorothy Thomas Black is an honor in itself. The recipients of this award during the past 37 years is like a who's who of PR in Southeastern Wisconsin. So being added to this list of practitioners is really humbling. The trails that Dorothy blazed as a PR practitioner and chapter leader in the 1970s and early 80s have opened doors to hundreds who followed her. Now, there are a number of people who played a key role in this presentation. There are too many to name here. I'd like to thank a few of them for their role that each has played. Most importantly, my wife, partner, and biggest cheerleader, Jane Gerald McSweeney, and our sons, David and John, for their consistent support and encouragement in my career. Also to the hundreds of PR people I've met and connected with across the country and even the world through PRSA during the past 30 plus years. Here in Milwaukee, Martha and Jeff Kerrigan of Big Shoes Network. Evan Zeppos, who brought me to Wisconsin from Florida 7 years ago during the polar vortex, and I would do it again. To Bob Burgess, who is one of the smartest people with whom I've ever worked. And to Chris Nadel, who encouraged me to become involved in the chapter's board when I was at Laughlin Constable. And there are so many, many others. You know, we're fortunate to work in an industry that is mentally challenging and critical to an organization's success. Public relations is a business of making connections between people and organizations. And those seemingly insignificant connections can make a world of difference. So does being a member of PRSA. For me, it's the most cost-effective continuing education available, and my dues come out of my own pocket. The webinars, the training programs, and access to award-winning work that can help guide a campaign you're working on, so you're not doing it alone and not reinventing the wheel, they're all worth the investment. We are part of an organization guided by a code of ethics, something that is needed now more than ever. And our accreditation program is career changing. It transforms you from a tactician to a strategist, upping your game so that you're a trusted advisor to clients or senior executives. But fewer than 1 in 5 members has earned this designation. And if you want to go farther and higher, I highly recommend the APR. It sets you apart from the rest. In fact, it was one of the criteria that led to a job offer for me here in Milwaukee. PRSA is also an organization where you're connected to 20,000 PR professionals with specialized experience and more connections that are only an email, text, or phone call away. Connections through PRSA have led me to being hired for 3 different jobs and job offers from others. My membership also has provided experience working for a nonprofit board, leading to community programs and connections throughout the area that I would have never made. It's exposed me to people I would have never met and opened my mind to concepts and experiences I would have missed. So I have to ask this question: are you using your membership to the fullest? And if not, what are you waiting for? I can honestly say that PRSA has made a big difference in my life career, and it can for you too. I want to thank you for your time, and certainly to all of my friends and colleagues, thank you for this award.
Finally, congratulations to everyone winning a Paragon Award or several awards. If you're interested in ordering additional awards, please let Catherine Foley or Joette Richards know. Thank you everyone for joining us today. We will continue to monitor COVID-19 trends and adjust our regular programming accordingly. We appreciate everyone's understanding during this time, and please stay safe.
Now, we'd like to welcome you to join us for a bit of virtual networking. We're going to put you into randomized breakout rooms, and feel free to discuss these topics. Introduce yourself and share one personal and professional activity you're looking forward to this month, and share a professional accomplishment you're proud of this year. Please wait while we put you into breakout rooms.